Hey, this is John Smith with ExtraHop Networks. Today I want to talk a little bit about the integration that we have with one of our partners, Citrix OctoBlu. So OctoBlu was acquired by Citrix a couple of years ago, and it is now officially part of the Citrix suite. And what we do, what OctoBlu is it's kind of an API as a service. It's a workflow engine, and it is a very open architecture that uses JavaScript. ExtraHop is a very open architecture that uses JavaScript. And so what I want to do today is walk through some of what we're doing around looking for malicious flash content in an attempt to kind of show you one way that you can leverage both WireData.net and OctoBlu's workflow engine to kind of assist with helping with the ransomware epidemic that's been going on in the last 18 months. As you're aware, ransomware tends to happen in that blind spot behind the perimeter. What we're going to do is we're going to shine light on that, and then we're also going to leverage OctoBlu's workflow platform to be able to check and see if the flash content is actually malicious or not. So there are a couple things involved. There's OctoBlu, there's ExtraHop, but there's also an API from VirusTotal. And what we're going to do is we're going to check SWF files or flash files to see if they are sourcing from a malicious site. .swf files, according to malware-traffic-analysis.net, are a pretty common vector with the delivery of CryptoWall using the Angler exploit kit. So what I've done is I've downloaded some PCAP files of actual CryptoWall breaches or successful CryptoWall propagation, and I'm going to play back those using TCP Replay using my virtual appliance. I'm going to see this data. I'm going to see the remote SWF flash file, and then I'm going to run a few rules against it. So just to get an idea of the workflow, here's the workflow. So we are a wire data analytics company. We're completely passive, no agents. We sit back and we observe data on your network. And what we're looking for is a URI from an external source, right? I'm not so concerned about internal flash content, although you should. But I'm looking more specifically for a URI from an external source that has a .swf extension. If I observe that, I'm going to do an HTTP post from the ExtraHop appliance to the actual OctoBlu trigger, and I'm going to send it a JSON blob with some JSON data. I'm going to send it the server IP, the client IP, and the URI. So I'll have that. That's going to be sent to the OctoBlu trigger. The OctoBlu trigger is then going to actually do the HTTP GET. It's going to interrogate the VirusTotal API. You need an API key for that. And it's going to pass the server IP that I sent it, the JSON object, over to this this VirusTotal API to see if the server IP is malicious. At the same time, it's going to write the other information, such as the URI. It's going to write information about the server IP and the client IP into a consolidated message here. So I'm going to populate this with whether or not it's a malicious site, and then I'm also going to include the client IP and the server IP. This will then be sent to what's called, and this is called a compose tool. This is an HTTP GET tool. That's a trigger tool. All of this will be distilled into this message and sent over into what's called a template tool called prepare message. That's what actually prepares the message that I'm going to send, and then I'm going to send the email letting me know if it's a malicious site or not. At the same time, I'm going to do another thing called a precision packet capture. So in addition to executing this workflow, I'm also going to do a packet capture of that SWF file so that I have that as digital evidence so that I can look it over. So real quickly, I'm going to leverage something called TCP Replay. So I'm going to bring up my OctoBlu workflow. This is live. And I'm going to execute one of these PCAP files. Now this is not real data, it's just a PCAP file, and then I've built some triggers to observe that data. So I'm going to go ahead and execute this. And let's go to our OctoBlu workflow, and let's see if this moves. There you see the trigger kicked off, and there you see the JSON files coming through. And now what I should have is a warning saying that there was some malicious content, and in fact, potential ransomware activity, virus total hit on remote SWF file. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this, and there were two of them. You may see another one pop in, and here I see the country that it's sourced from. I see who owns the server IP address. I see the actual server. I see the client that hit it, so I know who to ACL off, who's encrypting my F drive and my Z drive, so I can go in there and either ACL them off, shut off NetBIOS. There's other OctoBlu flows that can be leveraged with this. And then I see results. I get actually a dossier on this particular IP, and so if I'm a CISO or if I'm a operations person, I can take a look at this and I can get basically the rap sheet that belongs to this particular IP address. That was actually pretty quick. That was totally real time there, right? This is the kind of agility we need in today's world, where these security vectors and these security breaches, they kind of change shape, they stick and move, they pivot. Leveraging WireData with an open of ExtraHop with the open platform, another open platform like OctoBlu, this gives you the kind of agility you need to kind of stick and move in what's becoming more and more of a hand-to-hand combat world of information security. In addition to that, the last thing I want to check is to make sure that my precision PCAP went through. So there I'm doing a filter here. I'm just going to do a quick update. And you see I have a couple of more PCAPs that were captured. So a couple of things happened here. I have digital evidence. I can actually download this and open it up in Wireshark and look at it. But on a broader level, here's what's happened. A user has fallen prey to, say, a phishing scam. They've went to a site or they've opened a file that's run a macro that's redirected them to some flash content that is from a malicious location. I now have the digital evidence here. I know which IP it came from. I know which IP it connected to, or the server, and then I also have the dossier, or basically the rap sheet of that file. I can now engage in incident response. This happened within, what was that, about 6 seconds of the file being accessed. This is the kind of agility that simply doesn't exist in security today. I know we have a lot of great security tools. I love logs. I was a big Splunk guy. I was a big log guy for a really long time. But really, it's time for the industry to kind of pivot and engage in the same type of agility that those trying to exploit your systems have. Again, this is John Smith. That just happened. We basically discovered a malicious flash content access within 5 seconds of it happening. This doesn't exist today in a lot of your security tools. We can deliver this quite easily with our partner OctoBlu and ExtraHop's WireData Analytics. Thanks again, and have a great day.